But I don't like that. We'll talk about that today on Bible Time. Hello again, everyone, and thank you for joining me for Bible Time. You know, in Philippians chapter 2, I love what Paul says here. Do all things without grumbling or disputing. Chapter 2, verse 14. Do all things without grumbling or disputing, that you may be blameless and innocent children of God without blemish in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world, holding fast to the word of life, so that in the day of Christ I may be proud that I did not run in vain or labor in vain, even if I am to be poured out as a drink offering upon the sacrificial offering of your faith. I am glad and rejoice with you all. Likewise, you should be glad and rejoice with me. So, have you ever grumbled and complained? Oh my goodness, haven't we all? Some do more so than others. And I know that in my life I have done my fair share of grumbling and complaining. But to what end? What's the point? What does it profit someone to do that? Just prior to that, we can read in chapter 2 that Paul says, work out your own salvation with trembling and fear. You know, one thing I noticed growing up and becoming closer to God is there's always somebody who's got a better answer. I don't mean that they have a better answer. I mean, in their opinion, they have a better answer. And I have always been the type of person to say, okay, well, if that sounds better than what I've heard before, is it true? Maybe I need to look into it. And, you know, that's part of how I've grown. But it usually doesn't come with someone saying, well, let me look into it. It comes with, oh, you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong. I was recently called out on social media. The guy, I understood why he said what he said, but he was totally misrepresenting what I said. Now, in hindsight, sure, social media, you can write something, it can be misinterpreted. So I'm not even going to bring up what it was. I actually deleted the comment because I was so angry that the guy misrepresented me and just didn't want other people to get confused and stumble over it. But anyway, what my point is when we work with God in our own salvation, in our own way, in our own understanding, and we don't seek other people's opinions or try to put other people's opinions down, then what we're doing is we're getting closer to Him. Because there's not a single one of us that is perfect. We all do stupid things. We all make mistakes. And if we call out each other's mistakes, you know, why? Are we trying to help that person, or are we just trying to make ourselves feel better because someone else made a mistake bigger than me? You know, I often have to ask myself that question when I hear people calling others out. You know, sure, Jesus said, take 2 or 3 witnesses and take them before the church, or Paul said that, I should say. And, you know, I understand that. But when you grumble and complain about something that someone said, why are you not taking that to God and asking Him, is that person wrong? Am I wrong? Do I need to look at myself? Do I need to understand something a little different? Because you know what it's going to do? It's going to walk you away from that situation where you're not going to be grumbling, complaining to someone, and you're going to be spending more time with God. And another thing to remember is Proverbs 15:1, which says, harsh words stir up anger, but a gentle answer turns away wrath. You know, the first time I read that, I took it to heart because I was a person of harsh words. And I stirred up a lot of anger. And, you know, sometimes I did it on purpose because I wanted to prove that I was better than somebody else. Now, I no longer believe that, but I did at one time. So, bottom line, what I'm trying to get at here, what I'm trying to explain here, is that when we will step back from any situation where we feel like we feel that urge, that grumbling coming up out of our bodies, out of the depths of our soul, if we step back from that and say, God, why am I about to grumble? Am I justified? Sometimes it's justified, okay? But flying off the handle is not justified. And, you know, I love that term, flying off the handle. I remember I saw a cartoon one time of someone actually flying off the handle of a screwdriver. And what does that mean? But anyway, we know what the idiom means when we just get angry at the drop of a hat. There's another idiom for you. But anyway, if we step back from that situation and we ask God, what is it that's offending me? What is it that's making me angry? You know what that's going to do? It's going to do a couple things. It's going to disarm the enemy because they're probably whispering in your ear to get you to enrage, to get you to justify why you should be grumbling and complaining. It's going to disarm that. It's going to get you talking to God. It's going to calm you down, which is going to calm down your nerves, which is going to calm down your heart, which is going to be physically better for you. And you're going to be talking to God and getting closer to God. And notice I said talking to God several times because that's what's important. That's what we should be doing instead of grumbling and complaining. Oh, sure. Easier said than done. Hard to do. I know. I'm working on it as well. But this week, I challenge you, instead of grumbling and complaining about an injustice that you have had, and believe me, I want you to have justice, but who is the one who brings justice? Jesus. Because if we try to bring justice ourselves, we could be turning it into vengeance. Just keep that in mind. So this week, just if you suffer an injustice, step back, ask God, why am I grumbling and complaining? Hand it to Him and rest in Him. And see what a difference it makes. I will tell you this. You will notice a difference. You will stop grumbling and complaining. You'll be a nicer person and people will want to be around you more. And you'll be talking to God more. So that's your Bible time for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll talk to you again all real soon. God bless.